What's up, everybody? Today I'm gonna react to Mr. Galaxy D. I'm gonna react like for every single zombies ranked from worst to best. You know, actually I'm a huge zombie player, so let's hit it.
Of these videos. What's going on, guys? My name is Mr. JD and welcome to this very special video.
Oh, before we continue, shout out to Mr. Galaxy D. Don't forget, shout out to you, man, and go subscribe to his channel as well. I will put the link in the description down. So, hey, let's hit it.
Well, we're going to be ranking every single zombies map from worst to best. And when I say every single zombies map, I mean it. Every single zombies map that's ever released between World at War and Black Ops 4. Even Exos, IW, and World War 2 are in here. Now, I've had a blast going over listing these all for you guys, and if you have a different opinion, I'd love to know down below your top 5 maps. Also, if you guys do want to see more zombie list videos like this, then please support the video by watching all the way through. It helps get it out to more people and generally supported by YouTube, and it means a lot to me. And on top of that, if you're new here, be sure to subscribe, leave a like, and let's get this thing. 5 is the Darkest Shore from Call of Duty World War 2. Now, I don't think this is any much of a surprise to anyone, but this is one of the dullest zombies maps visually that has ever released, and combines a mechanic which was already bad in transit being fog and timesing that by 100. This map is just awful to play. It looks terrible, and is already in a game that is already disregarded as one of the worst zombies modes out of any that aren't Treyarch. Now, to give credit where credit's due, some of the portions of the Easter egg are pretty cool, involving tons of planes flying over that you need to shoot down, which gives you a very cool mechanic that involves the theming of the game. But there is just so much wrong with the different zombie types that come into play here, as well as the Easter egg being pretty underwhelming and the boss fight being pretty boring as well. I'm not a fan. Let me know if you are in the comments. Coming in at number 44, second worst ever, is Infection Exo Zombies, which is also known as Burger Town. Now, actually,
I never played those zombies map ever. Advanced Warfare Zombies.
Awful. Burger Town sounds like a really cool setting for a zombies map, but this is not it, chief. This zombies map introduced multiple new zombie variants, each with their own unique characteristics. But
Mr. Dedicated, he's never wrong.
Zombies. And along with
if he said the map is bad, then it's bad.
Infect the player if they enter the area. So whole areas of the map can be locked off at random each round. And this is a mechanic that is absolutely just god-awful and a sin to zombies. On top of that, you have survivors, which are random AI that you need to help escort from one place to another so they can get rescued, which completely takes your mind off the actual thing at hand here, which is killing zombies. There's just so much going on here that this map is a complete mess, and the only redeeming feature is Bubby. Everything else about this map is trash. And continuing on that theme, the next map is going to be Exo Zombies Carrier, which takes place on a carrier
all the Advanced Warfare has
trash. This is just as awful, because replacing those AI that you need to save, you have random soldiers that will spawn in with a bomb that you need to defuse. You've got actual AI shooting at you inside of a zombies mode, which never should be a thing. It's just zombies. We don't need human soldiers shooting at us as well. And on top of that, you have all the nightmare zombies returning, as well as a teleporting zombie. So to make matters worse, you've already got some awful zombie types in that map and Infection, but then it just gets ramped up even more. And by ramp up, I mean Exo Zombies Descent, which is the final Exo Zombies map. Now, to give credit where credit's due, it's not as bad as DLC 2 and 3, but it's still awful. And to make your life even more hell, there's a new enemy known as the Fusion Zombie, which can exhibit multiple combinations of zombie powers with a maximum of 4 to be total.
The fuck is that weapon?
I thought the Easter egg was pretty underwhelming as well. It's just the Oz boss battle gets pretty boring after the first time you do it. There's just not really much substance to any of these Exo Zombies maps. But coming in at 41 is the Beast from Beyond from Infinite Warfare. Now, this is a shell of what Infinite Warfare Zombies actually represents, because I think the game is actually really good and there's some great maps that stand out in
Bro,
this selection. But Beast from
I
Beyond
never liked
is just not
Advanced
one of
Warfare, man.
those. It's the ugly
I mean, not the
duckling of
campaign or
Infinite
the
Warfare
multiplayer, but
Zombies,
the
if you will,
zombies,
but
man.
just completely
It was
stripping
completely
it of
trash.
what it once was.
For me,
Introducing
like,
cryptids
for
back from
anybody
Extinction, but
else, I
making
don't
it
know.
even worse than
Leave in a
Extinction.
comment, tell
The
me.
only thing good about Beast from Beyond is that super Easter egg boss battle, which is incredible, but the actual boss fight of the map itself is really underwhelming and just feels like there
walking
wasn't
with
enough
that
time
thing
to
around the
actually
map
make a good
and
boss
zombies
fight.
behind you.
There's just not a lot to the map. It just feels like a shell of what a Extinction sequel really could have been. But coming in after this is the Tortured Path, which is arguably the worst DLC from World War II Zombies in total. But then you've also got Darkest Shore up there. But Tortured Path was awful, breaking down 3 zombies maps in a sort of aggressional system where you complete one map, you move on to the next, but it just did not work in my opinion. I don't think I really need to say much more about the Tortured Path. You already know how terrible it is. But coming in afterwards is the Frozen Dawn, which is the final DLC for World War II Zombies. Now, this is not the worst zombies map out of the game by far and none, but as a finale, it just didn't really do it either. Some of the Wonder Weapon quests are pretty fun, but some are also incredibly tedious and boring. And the map in total just doesn't really have that much enjoyment. And the finale, having a storyline ending as pretty diabolical as it was, did not help this map either. But coming in at number 38 is going to be Groston House, and yeah, you can see a theme coming here. Groston House is a fun little survival map, but that's all it really is, and that's all really that it offers. It's great.
Actually, I played this one.
A mystery box as a little Easter egg reward. There's not really much more I can say about the map. It's Groston House. Coming in at number 37, it's going to be Rave in the Redwoods. Now, a lot of people actually don't mind Rave in the Redwoods, and at its core, it's not a bad map, but I just feel like in the pool of other maps that Infinite Warfare has, this isn't the strongest one. The Wonder Weapon bows are pretty good. They're nothing special, nothing overly memorable. And the Super Slasher boss fight, as well, is not that memorable either. It just feels like a much more dumbed down, not as good version as Zombies in Spaceland, if I'm honest with you. Coming in at number 36 is going to be Exo Zombies Outbreak, which is the very first map. And to give credit to Exo Zombies, this map is actually okay. The mode as a whole, though, is not good, which is why this is the highest ranked Exo Zombie map, but it's not ranked very high in terms of zombies. Introduced some great ideas, but then as the DLC maps gone on, they got worse. This map's actually the better Exo Zombies map out of all of them, but I can't rank it that much higher than that, to be honest. Coming in at number 35 is going to be the Shadowed Throne. Now, this is probably one of the better World War II Zombies maps, and easily by none overshadows every other DLC map. It's got great theming, it's got a pretty cool quest. There's a lot that happens in the map. I guess it just falls under that same umbrella as the other maps, where it's just unfortunately not that great to play. But that's a pretty cool boss fight, and the set pieces and everything like that, it's definitely very cinematic and obviously stands out as a much higher quality map than the rest of the game. Coming in at number 34 is going to be Shaolin Shuffle from IW Zombies. This is a very unique one. The Easter egg was interesting.
I never liked those.
Terrible.
I never liked those games.
Either. It's just
to
in
be
its own
honest.
little bubble of it's pretty good. But coming in straight after is Attack of the Radioactive Thing.
You see,
and people are going to be
like, I'm gonna
surprised
pause a second. Like, for those 8 minutes, all the worst zombie maps are like from Advanced Warfare, Infinite Warfare. That's all I saw, to be honest, man. And World War Two, like 8 minutes. Worst zombies map ever are like World War Two, Advanced Warfare, and Infinite Warfare.
This is like probably one of the highest IW maps. Well, I think the Easter egg quest in its complexity is something which is to be looked at as a pretty good thing. Never have we seen an Easter egg quest be as complicated as Attack of the Radioactive Thing. And whilst a lot of people complain about its bland color palette, that's sort of what it was going for, that 70s theming where Technicolor wasn't quite there yet. The themes are pretty cool, the scale of it,
what
the actual
is
boss
that
itself
shit
is a
like?
pretty cool
Actually,
boss fight, and that
boss
end
fight
mechanic
is
something I
a,
actually really like, because it actually tests skill of
you know
all
what it
4
is.
players in a game to be able to make that laser maze and get to the end. The map obviously has a lot of issues, so I'm not going to put it too much higher, but there we go. Coming in at number 32 is going to be Die Rise, and I don't think this is a surprise to anyone. And I think
people actually hate Die Rise, man.
not a
And
great map. It's okay,
actually,
but it ain't great. You know what I mean? It's not great.
Some people
Coming in
hate
number
that
31 is
rise.
going to be Voyage of Despair, and here we go. We're starting with the Black Ops
Black Ops
4
4.
Zombies maps here, and Voyage of Despair could have been such a good map. The theme and setting of the Titanic is an incredible idea for a zombies map, but unfortunately, as a zombies map executed in Black Ops 4, it just did not hit well what it could have been. So much more could have been put into the map in terms of the emotional impact that the Titanic had. Especially looking at the movie, they could have based so many things, and the tragicness of trying to save everyone on the Titanic could have been the main focus of the map. But instead, we left the Titanic and let everyone die on it, just like I guess history had to have played out. There's so many things that just does not feel good for this. The boss fight, though, is incredible. One of the best boss fights in Zombies history, but unfortunately, the map as a whole, it just does not play well. It's just so big, so overwhelming, and it just doesn't really feel great to play. Coming in at number 30 is going to be Blood of the Dead, and I wish that I could put this map higher. I really, really wish this was a better remaster than what it was.
Mob of the Dead
deserve to have the best remaster.
Mob of the Dead is better,
made,
is actually better than
Blood of the Dead
this one,
is
man.
just not it.
No, Black Ops 2
so
version.
fun.
Because like it's more easier, more playable, you know. And this one is like very hard. But the thing is, the good thing is, it's the graphics, man. The graphics, you know, the designs. Those were the good things. But as a gameplay, Mob of the Dead, man.
Iconic, but I just wish that Blood of the Dead's Easter egg was just not as diabolical as it is, because it doesn't make any sense. So much more could have been done. Coming in at number 39 is going to be The Final Reich. As well as a launch map, it set the tone pretty well, and I feel like the map's flow, the way you have the notebook for that end of storytelling, as well as just everything that goes on, the wonder weapons, it was on paper exactly how you should do a launch map. It had plenty of stuff to do, plenty of quality gameplay, and it still holds up as the best map on that game. The boss fight is pretty good.
Yeah, I played this one.
Decent map. Obviously,
I actually didn't like World War II at all, man. Only the campaign.
Not the worst either, which is
multiplayer was boring.
Like nearly at the middle now. Nearly halfway, guys. Coming in afterwards is going to be De Toten, and this is a classic map. It's a fantastic map to play, but we know, looking at how Zombies has evolved and advanced over the years, this has just not aged very well. A mystery box, no perks, no pack-a-punch, no nothing, no sounds, no voices. It's as eerie as it gets, but we just can't put it any higher because of just how simplistic it is. Coming in at number 27 is going to be Verrückt, which obviously improved on the World at War gameplay drastically, and this is a classic map, and
now we're talking about World at War games.
A ranking that we might do based on like horror vibes. If there was a ranking we could do based on how scary maps are, this would probably be at the number 1, because the sounds, the atmosphere, I don't think any map's ever been able to get as close to it. Maybe Final Reich, but aside from that, Verrückt hits different, but again, it's just too simplistic. Coming in next is Shino Numa. I feel like I'm writing World at War off very early,
World at War.
Don't worry about that. We still got one more map to go from there. But Shino Numa includes our classic characters and the Wonderwaff and the perks and the dogs and everything like that. But again, it's just a bit of an outdated map, and in its remastered form, it doesn't play that great, especially with Nacht as well. Coming in at number 25 is going to be Nuketown from Black Ops 2 Zombies. And I feel as a map for gameplay, this map is great. It has that sort of simplistic survival gameplay that people probably want still when it came to Black Ops 2. But I miss those days, man. To be honest, I miss them. There isn't really that much to the map. You have the mechanics of the perks flying in, which is always cool and sort of changes up your game every time. But again, Nuketown's a little bit too simplistic, but still is great if you want that old school gameplay. Coming in at number 24 is going to be Dead of the Night, the first DLC for Black Ops 4. And I really think this is a gem within Black Ops 4. There's a lot of uniqueness of this map, a lot of creativity. The Wonder Weapon is probably one of the best Wonder Weapons in Black Ops 4 in general. It's so strong, it's so powerful, but yeah, stuff like the vampires and the werewolves do let this map down a little bit, but it's definitely not the worst map on BO4 by none, which is why it's rated higher than Blood and Voyage. Coming in afterwards is going to be Zetsubo no Shima, and some people will probably disagree. They might rate this as one of the best maps in Black Ops 3, but I'm going to rate it down below. There's nothing ultimately wrong with
this
Zetsubo.
map. This map is good, man. It's good. It's just good.
And, yeah, I just don't really like Zetsubo that much. Please don't hate me in the comments if you do like it. Story-wise,
I actually do like it.
Pretty cool.
I don't agree with you.
Gobblegum, not so cool. Coming in at number 22 is going to be Shangri-La. Now, I feel bad putting it so high up because this is a really cool map at the core, and the art style is one of the most beautiful maps ever made. It just looks so good. But Shangri-La does have its problems. We have some very annoying zombies. You have the monkeys. It's a very different beast in terms of the other Black Ops 1 zombies maps. And although I'll always have firm memories with Shangri-La, I just can't rate it higher personally, but I'm sure you guys might feel different. Coming in at number 21 is going to be 5 from Black Ops 1 Zombies, and 5 is classic. It is super classic.
Let's pause a second. I'm gonna pause a second. 5 was like, I actually played it a lot. I actually played it a lot on PS3. It's the most hardest game I ever played on PS3 on all of Call of Duty Zombies, man. Black Ops 1 version is the most hardest zombies map ever. That's my opinion.
Are some of the most unique I think we've ever seen in zombies. That's definitely something we can all agree on, and it's a great map, but I just can't rate it that much higher than that. Coming in at number 20 is going to be the Giant from Black Ops 3. And this is a pretty darn good remake. As far as
Black Ops 3 zombies maps are like, all of them are good,
but it doesn't change too much. But ultimately, I feel like Doris is the better map than the Giant. Again, it's another one of those simple maps. There's not really too much to it besides just surviving. And whilst we have some classic areas, I got to put it at number 20 just because, you know, there's other maps better than the Giant. Coming in at number 19 is going to be Revelations. And I'm sure you guys are going to be surprised, but the more I play Revelations, the more I just wish that the last map for Black Ops 3 was a bit more unique and a bit more of a different style of take than it mashing maps together. I also think some
I actually agree with
Easter
them,
egg are just darn
to be honest.
Like how long it took us to find all the bones for that individual step is just nuts, right? It's things like that, as well as the boss fight being a carbon copy of Shadows of Evil. But you've got some
actually did the
favorites
Easter
here. You've got
eggs.
the
The Easter
gun,
egg in this map, it was,
which could be upgraded. Little Arnie's. There's a lot of great stuff in Revelations, and it's a great map. But I think what we're looking for is just more unique, great zombies maps. So coming in at number 18 is Classified, and I really do believe that Classified is a better map than 5 because there's a few more areas, there's a few more weapon varieties, you've got some of the mechanics in.
Don't forget, Mr. JD, Mr. Dalek, that 5 is a PS Black Ops 1 game, and this is BO4 one. So the graphics, the movements, you know, all of that changed. So you will find it better, obviously, man.
BO4, such as a specialist as well, that make it a little bit more fun to play. And you've got a little bit more stuff to go with here. You've got that old Pack-a-Punch room, but then you've got the new Pack-a-Punch room. You've got more areas just outside of the spawn room. And ultimately, I think Classified is a bit more of a funner map to play gameplay-wise than 5. There's just more to do. There's a bit more to it. Coming in at number 17 is Transit. And you'd be surprised because when I made my last ranking every zombies map video, I put Transit as one of the worst. But recently, going back and playing it, as bad as the map is, as bad as some of the gameplay mechanics are, there's something about Transit that just keeps me coming back. I think the idea of an open world zombies map is something very exciting.
got lost in those.
Transit was the closest thing we have to it. Denizens are definitely one of the worst things ever to come into zombies, and I absolutely detest the map.
Like, imagine remaking this in Cold War Zombies. Just imagine it. Transit in Cold War Zombies. Sheesh. It would be a lot easier, a lot of fun, and we're gonna get a lot of memories back. You know, and the fog, remove it, just do it more realistic, you know what I'm saying? It would be good. Transit Cold War. Sheesh.
The Denizens. The jet gun is also a terrible wonder weapon, so it completely gets ignored every time I play it.
Every zombie
is also terrible as well.
Every zombie player hated the wave gun. Every zombie player hated
There's just
it.
something about the gameplay of Transit, something about those iconic areas like bus depot and town and diner and farm that you just can't help but love. And I don't know why, but there's just a certain character about Transit that I just love, so I put it at number 17. It's definitely not great, but there's a lot of fun that you can still have with Transit despite the problems that it has. On the gameplay front, Transit is so fun, and any player of any skill level can jump in and have a fun time with Transit, even if it's a bit of a chaotic one. Coming in at number 16 is going to be Alpha Omega, and a lot of people don't like Alpha Omega. They think it's lazy, it's just a rip-off from the Nuketown Island on Blackout, and I agree with you on that front. But there is some great story lore to this map, and it's probably one of the heaviest story lore maps in all of Zombies. It rounds up so much great stuff. There's some great gameplay as well with the 4 different ray guns that you can have upgraded, which is something which a few years ago we would have dreamt of having. Alpha Omega obviously has a lot of flaws as well. Some of the mechanics where you have to, you know, refix the generators sometimes every few rounds. Other things like that. It's not great, but there's a lot of fantastic touches that they made to this map that I really, really appreciate, such as the round changing music, the end screen music, the Easter egg with the Avogadro boss fight. It's really, really cool. And when you think about it, all the other stuff like Marlton being stuck in the bunker, like that finally being explained and us seeing it and stuff like that, I just love that sort of thing. Coming in at number 15 is going to be Doris, and it is an absolute hot classic. It introduced the Pack-a-Punch machine, teleporters, camping in loads of unique spots. I just have such great memories with Doris, and I'm sure every single one of you guys do as well. And I think visually as well, it just looks a lot better than the Giant in terms, not when it comes to the visual artistic look of Doris, I just think it looks better than the Giant. The Giant obviously graphically looks so much better, but the art style, that sort of dark, gloomy, moody atmosphere, the grays, I love it on Doris. And so much of the zombie storyline like rooted and originated from Doris, so you got to give it credit where credit's due. Coming in at number 14 is going to be Ascension from Black Ops 1, which introduced so many cool new mechanics. PhD Flopper, how can we forget you? Stamina, Lunar Landers, the very first Zombies Easter egg, and one of the first maps to introduce very open areas for you to just train round in circles to your heart's content. The monkeys are a mechanic that I still find to be very annoying to this day, but Ascension's a pretty fun map. It's pretty awesome, and I love the setting. Coming in at number 13 is going to be Call of the Dead. And there's so many cool things about this map that I absolutely adore. You've got the VR11 and the Scavenger, 2 super unique wonder weapons. Got George Romero, rest in peace, walking around, very unique mechanic. Not sure if it's good or not. We've dealt with it so much now, we've probably gotten used to it. I really don't like the fog mechanic in Call of the Dead, but I love the Easter egg, I love the characters, I love the setting. It's a hot classic. How can you not like Call of the Dead? But I'm actually going to rank Tag De Toten higher than Call of the Dead at number 12, because I think as far as remakes go and remasters, Tag De Toten is enough of a difference of a map.
Told you, everything remakeable is more
in a lot of ways. You don't have
it's more good, you know what I'm saying?
Anymore. You've got more areas to play around with. You've got some fun wonder weapons. Talking about the Tundra gun, the DG2 Schwartz shooter, the Matryoshka dolls. You've got the Victus crew. You have so much backstory there. There's a lot of great things, and I think it's one of the better Black Ops 4 maps that we got through the DLC season. Some of you guys might disagree with that. Let me know. Coming in at number 11 is going to be Kino De Toten, which is just an absolute classic. I don't really need to say much more. It's Kino De Toten. We all love Kino. So it's coming in at number 11.
Who doesn't?
Coming in at number 10 is going to be Ancient Evil. And I'm sure some of you might be surprised, but Ancient Evil is actually a really, really good map. You have those 4 wonder weapon gauntlets. You have a very cinematic journey throughout this map where you have Pegasus that takes you from one side of the map to the other. You have an amazing boss fight arena. So much creativity. The gameplay suits any play style and also any skill. You can be given a pack-a-punch weapon pretty early on by just doing some challenges. Some of the Easter egg steps are just darn right awesome in this map. And theming wise as well, it is just awesome. So that's why Ancient Evil is in my top 10. But now coming in during that top 10, we have number 9, which is going to be Zombies in Spaceland.
Look, before we continue to top 1, I'm sure the top 1 best zombie map is even DE, Dira's Rache, or Shadows of Evil. Those, DE or Shadows of Evil. Top 1.
And if you guys don't rate Zombies in Spaceland highly, then you really should. Zombies in Spaceland is an example of when you combine a fantastic zombies map idea, being a theme park, and then blending that in with amazing gameplay, and you have Zombies in Spaceland. It has fantastic gameplay. It's so fun to play. It attracts people in a way that I think only Transit can as well, with the uniqueness of the map. There's so many things to do. There's so many ways to play. You've got 4 amazing wonder weapons. You have a pretty awesome, easy Easter egg quest with a cool boss fight that's challenging.
I never
and
liked this
rewarding.
game.
I would
Never.
love to see a sequel to Zombies in
Sorry, Mr.
Spaceland.
Dalek.
It's just so
Never liked
cool.
it.
That 80s theme, David Hasselhoff blowing those tunes while you're killing some zombies. It's awesome. And it sucks that Infinite Warfare gets the rep it has when it has a zombies map as insane as Zombies in Spaceland. Coming in at number 8 is gonna be Buried, which is such a hot classic. It has some amazing uniqueness to the map. I love the western town that we have. We have Leroy the Giant. We have the Paralyzer Wonder Weapon, which is incredible. The Time Bomb. There's just so much cool stuff about this map. The fact the maze changes every time is a hot classic. And Buried is such a friendly map as well for players to just jump on and just go to high rounds on. Definitely an easy map, but a great map. Number 7 is going to be Moon from Black Ops 1. And I don't really need much to say. We've got Moon. It's on the goddamn moon.
Bro, you always
blow
say
up the
Black
Earth,
Ops 1,
you've
but
got
you're playing
the
it on
wave gun,
BO3.
You've got the biodome. You've got the astronaut. It's just so damn
Moon,
good.
I like
And
Moon, bro.
honestly, the
It is
Moon
actually
remake
good
is
game.
probably one of the best remakes we'll ever have in Zombies. It is just so awesome. And for story, yeah, it's just great. Coming in at number 6 is going to be Gorod Krovi. And what an amazing map Gorod Krovi
Told you,
is.
bro.
It just goes
Call
to
of
show
Duty
the scale
BO3
that
games,
zombies can be at
are
when
the
you have
best.
maps like Gorod Krovi with dragons flying around. You fly on dragons to get to the Pack-a-Punch area, the boss fight with Nikolai. Everything about this map is absolutely amazing. No wonder JC rates it as his favorite. Coming in at number 5 is going to be 9 from Black Ops 4. And I really hope you guys also have 9 in your top 10, because 9 is an example of just how amazing a zombies map can be. That setting is so good. I think I'd go on record and say 9 is easily the best map on BO4 and one of the best maps we've had in years. It's just epic. You have that crowd chanting at you. You have so many unique zombies and they're not really that annoying. You've got an incredibly unique wonder weapon being the scorpion gun. You've got the elephant boss fight. It's so damn good. Coming in at number 4 is going to be Shadows of Evil. And I think ever since we entered Morgue City nearly 5 years ago, it's never ever left us. Morgue City, Shadows of Evil is just so amazing. That whole world is such an amazing creative bubble that I wish we'd see it again. The Apothicon Servant was born in this map. You have the Apothicon Swords, you have Margwas, you have so many unique areas to go. That jazzy
Margwas, Little
Chicago-esque
Orange
era, it's
like
fantastic. And also having that first ever in-game cutscene from Shadows of Evil as well is great. It's just so much fun on all levels. Coming in at number 3 is gonna be Origins. Now this is going to be probably a little bit of a controversial one because people would expect Origins to be number 1, and Origins is definitely a top 5 map easily. I mean, it's Origins. It's the most overhyped map in all of Zombies. It's fantastic, but I just don't think it's the number 1 map. Okay, coming in at number 2 is going to be Mob of the Dead. And this is a hot classic and easily my favorite map out of Black Ops 2, even surpassing Origins. It's just unbelievable. It's fantastic. The quest is insane. The gameplay is so cool. I think Mob of the Dead is easily everyone's favorite map, or at least their second favorite map. It is incredible. But the number 1 spot, which I'm sure you guys have worked out by now, is going to be the Horizon Track. This map is a combination of...
I bet you on that. I fucking bet you on that. I told you, best map ever. Best map ever, man. DE. Jeez, like every time I play DE, every time, like literally every time I play DE, I do the Easter egg. And every time I do it, I fucking win it. Like if I play like DE like five times in a row, I do 5 times in a row Easter eggs in it. It's simple, easy game. You got the 4 bows, 4 unique bows. Every game you need to choose one of them. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you like. You got like a lot of stuff in this game.
Everything that
No talk.
Origins and Mob of the Dead done, but to perfection here. We have 4 elemental bows, which I think are even better than the Origin staff. Some could argue that it's lazy, that they just replicated the staffs into bows, but I think they're better. They're better, they're stronger, they're easier to create. It's a more friendly map to those that are new to Zombies, because when you compare how complex Origins and Mob of the Dead are to Horizon Track, it's night and day difference. You've got the first ever proper boss fight in Zombies in Horizon Track. You have an incredible setting, you've got all that storyline lore, and you have yourself the perfect map. Horizon Track never ever gets old. It's always been
You're right.
just
You're
as
right,
good
man.
as it's ever been, and it is, in my opinion, as close to perfect as a zombies map will ever.